A show of solidarity by thousands of Canadians of all faiths Hindus, Muslims, Jews, Sikhs, and Christians. And the venue was the Hindu Sabha temple in Brampton. This should serve as a message to Khalistani separatists who went on the rampage here over the weekend attacking Hindu devotees. If their idea was to subjugate Hindus in India, it utterly flopped. The temple ground reverberated to the sounds of the Canadian national anthem as well as bhajans, and religious chants rent the air.
Who sing O Canada, who wave the Canadian flag, who stand together, Sikhs, Christians, Hindus, Jews, all of us together. Jai Shri Ram.
The Canadian police were booed for failing to do their job. Some called for Indian Canadians, Hindus in particular, to increase their political representation.
Nothing will change unless you increase your electoral participation. Electoral participation of Hindus is embarrassingly low. It's less than 10%. Shame on us. The situation community is here right now. Blame is on us.
The attacks on temples have galvanized the Hindu community to speak up and shatter the biased narrative that Khalistanis are India's headache. They are not, as Sean Binda, a Hindu of Indo-Caribbean descent who has lived all along in Canada, says in his social media post, citing a bit of history.
Okay, a couple of things. It's been 2 days since Hindus were attacked at the Hindu Sabha in Brampton. There's a disturbing media narrative that's emerging that this is an Indian problem. Let me make this clear to my fellow Canadians. Khalistanis are a Canadian problem. I'll repeat that again. Khalistanis are a Canadian problem. Our politicians have let this problem fester in our country the last 30 to 40 years, and nothing was done. It led to the greatest terrorist attack that Canadians have ever faced with the Air India bombing in 1985. Temples are now under attack. This is a Canadian problem. Don't tell us to take your problem back home, because Khalistanis are Canadians.
Ever since Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjhar was killed in Canada, the Trudeau government has been pointing fingers at India. No hard evidence has been provided by the Canadian side, India has said. But Trudeau has often pontificated, all in the name of the rule of law. Till now, India's External Affairs Ministry and Minister Jaishankar has been leading the counter-charge, rubbishing the wild allegations by the Trudeau government. Till this happened. A strong rebuttal, paying back Trudeau in his own language. So what explains this rather unexpected move by PM Modi? Is it a signal right from the top that India will no longer brook Canada's duplicitous behavior, shielding Khalistani terrorists and at the same time accusing India? Or is there more to it?
Welcome to Strat News Global. I am Surya Gangadharan, and here's my comment on Modi's response to the litany of accusations coming from Canada. These accusations have been coming for some time, and this is perhaps the first time he's actually, in more than a year, publicly responded to it. So that's curious. Why has he done that? If you read his comments, they're quite strong. He's referred to a deliberate attack on Indian diplomats, attempts to intimidate. He is described as cowardly the attack on the temple, the Hindu men temple in Brampton. He's also, so why has he responded at this time? Is it because he sees a need to reach out to the Hindu vote in India, which has been following these Khalistan developments for some time, and he sees a need to encourage the Hindu diaspora overseas that India stands by them in this hour when they are under attack from Khalistani groups. And as you are aware, the Khalistani attacks are not just focused on Canada. We have seen these attacks in the US, we have seen them in Australia, even some stray incidents have been reported from New Zealand. So clearly there seems to be an attempt to appeal to the diaspora. It could also be that he is looking at the domestic constituency where you have elections happening in two states, Maharashtra and Jharkhand. He is probably appealing to voter sentiment there also. And a third point was the fact that Amit Shah has been named in the accusations coming out of Canada for complicity, for alleged complicity in the Khalistani, in the attack on Hardeep Nijjhar, the Khalistani separatist who was killed last year. As we are aware, the Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, is known to be close to Prime Minister Modi. So perhaps this was interpreted as an attack on Modi himself. We can only speculate at this point, we really do not know. But the turn of this entire story, the Khalistani attacks on the mandir in Brampton, Modi's response are interesting, and we need to watch the space closely. That's it from me, Surya Gangadharan for Strat News Global.